I don't know how much of a force I was. I was one of those who encouraged him because I really believed way back then that he would make an incredible candidate. And you know, you're not always right, but this time I felt I was going to be right, and it proved to be the case. He is just a magnificent candidate, and so it's been a lot of enjoyment as well as a passion that I believe very strongly about. It is all the fun and none of the pressure. I don't feel the pressure that you'd feel when your name is on the line itself. You just feel a little more liberated, a little more free to do and say things you want to do. I don't have to make a trip if I don't want to. I don't have to give a speech if I don't want to. The fun of it is that I've wanted to do most of what I've been asked.
But what's even more interesting is that Senator Obama obviously has been in the Senate since 2004, but your colleague, Senator Clinton, obviously was or is in the Senate since 2000. So one would think that you would have supported Senator Clinton based on the relationship and the friendship, presumed friendship. So why defy her and go with Senator Obama?
Well, Robert, this was really never any reflection on Senator Clinton. I still consider her a friend and her husband a friend. I just felt at the time, and I feel even more strongly today, that Barack had a certain degree of capacity unlike anything I've seen before. Really, I'd have to go back to the 60s and my infatuation with John Kennedy and Martin Luther King as indicative of the kind of feeling I had about a Barack Obama. As I said, it's not an anti-Clinton feeling at all. It's just how compelled I was to support Barack for the strengths and for the charisma and for the kind of unique character politically that he was in the country. I think that's been borne out. The thousands of people that turn out at his events are an indication that others feel that way too.
Well, Senator Obama feels very strongly about you because he said this, the fact that he was willing, meaning you, to sign on at a time when we were still putting it together gave other people confidence that this wasn't just a flight of fancy. He said that to the New York Times. So clearly the feeling is mutual in terms of the respect. And one can make the argument that all the more reason why this is a perfect recipe for perhaps a Vice President Daschle or Chief of Staff Daschle.
Well, I've said many times that I have absolutely no ambitions about further employment in government. I like what I'm doing now. Obviously, I want to be helpful to the administration in any way that I can, should there be one, but I'm not looking for a new job.
Secretary of Health and Human Services, perhaps?
To talk about health care?
We just talked about health care.
Well, what I said, and I think it may have been slightly misinterpreted, is that regardless of what I do, whether it's in or out of government, regardless of who's president, I really feel strongly about the importance of health care. I also feel strongly about the importance of climate change and the importance of changing our foreign policy and getting out of Iraq and dealing with Native Americans in a more meaningful way and coming up with an energy policy that makes sense. So this isn't my sole passion. It happens to be the one that I've been spending a lot of time on now because of the book project. But these are important issues, and we just need such a change in direction that in whatever capacity I'd like to play a role.
Senator Daschle, speaking of change of direction, there is one can make the argument, a rift right now between Obama and Clinton supporters. As co-chair of the Obama campaign, what is your plan, or the Obama's campaign specifically, to unify the party?
Well, first of all, we saw already a wonderful and a very encouraging sign when the two candidates got together. And it may have been a secret meeting, and it probably should have been a secret meeting given the importance of their particular agenda at the time. But I think that was indicative of what's going to happen all the way down the chain. You're going to see people reaching out. I've had great conversations in the last 24 hours with a number of high-level Clinton supporters and people involved in the campaign. You're going to continue to see that. There's going to be a lot more engagement, a lot more inclusion, a lot more effort to unify.
Senator, does Senator Clinton have to be the VP nominee in order to unify the ticket, or do you think that there are other ways to do it?
Well, certainly Senator Clinton will be on anybody's short list and on Barack's list of options. There's no question about it. She should be. She deserves that. She's an incredibly strong candidate. She probably isn't the only one who will be on the list. There'll probably be others as well. And I think what Barack is going to do is take his time, be deliberative, make some decisions along the way, but not in the hype that has been generated over the last several days when it's probably harder to make a decision of this magnitude. But down the road, he will give it careful thought. I know that, and certainly Hillary is going to be a Senator Clinton's going to be part of any equation.
Senator Obama got trounced in West Virginia, trounced in your home state of South Dakota. One can make the argument that there is a structural problem or disconnect that he has with white, middle-class Democratic voters. Would you agree with that?
I wouldn't, Robert, frankly. I think that it depends a little bit on each state. Look at what happened in Oregon. Look what happened in Wisconsin. Look what happened in Missouri. Look what happened in Virginia. Look what happened in South Carolina. I mean, I think it points to really one of the key misinterpretations of the results, that somehow he has a problem with blue-collar voters. I think Hillary Clinton deserves credit in her own right for the tremendous opportunities that her candidacy presented to blue-collar voters. And a vote for Hillary isn't necessarily a vote against Barack Obama. When we see what contest there will be this fall between a John McCain and a Barack Obama, I have a very high level of confidence that blue-collar voters are going to vote what would be in their best interest, and that is for Barack Obama.
Can I follow up very quickly? What is the distinct difference between Senators Obama and McCain, specifically on health care?
Oh, on health care, I think it goes to the very heart of the issue. Barack Obama favors universal coverage. Barack Obama favors improving quality and access. John McCain has a plan that doesn't come close to reaching universal coverage or improving access or doing the kinds of things necessary to deal with improvement in quality. Barack Obama has made health care a very, very high priority. I don't know that we've got that commitment yet from John McCain. I hope so, because this is an issue that has to be addressed.
On the other point we were talking about on red states, Senator Obama had a lot of success winning primary battles against Senator Clinton in some red states, Idaho and some of these others. Do you think that he can turn any of that success from the primaries in what everybody would think would just be go Republican in the fall into some success at all? I mean, and where do you think he could do that?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt. We look at a lot of states as states that are much more purple than they are red today. I think that there's a change in the paradigm when it comes to national politics. And I have to say, I give Howard Dean credit for his 50-state strategy. We now have more Democratic than Republican governors west of the Mississippi. That's never happened before. You're seeing real competitive Senate races in states that we haven't seen in a long time, including Colorado and maybe Alaska. And so there's a change that's occurring that I think is very good. Barack, I think, can accelerate that change, and you're going to see him take these states much more seriously than perhaps some past campaigns have.
Can I ask you, since you mentioned some of the Senate races, Democrats are expected to gain in Congress in November. I wonder if you think that they need a President Obama in order to make the kinds of changes that they could otherwise make, or do you think that even if you have a Senator McCain, there will be a big enough majority amongst Democrats that they would be able to get some of the Democratic agenda accomplished?
Well, as you know, Emily, it's awfully hard to originate from Congress. It's very, very hard to do. You need a presidential signature. A good example of that was the state children's health insurance program this year. That originated from Congress. We made a couple of efforts to climb that mountain and got vetoed on at least 2 occasions. And so it's very hard. It really has to come from the president in large measure. There are exceptions, but those are rare.
Senator Daschle, very quickly, there's a lot of talk out there that perhaps Senator Clinton may be interested in running for Senate Majority Leader. As a person that has held that post before, would you recommend that she would throw her hat in the ring?
Well, as long as my friend Harry Reid is the majority leader, the answer is no. I don't think anybody should run against him. I think he's doing a fine job, and I don't anticipate that he's going to give it up anytime soon.
We have about 45 seconds left in this segment. What is your answer to the 50-year-old Hillary Clinton supporter who voted for Senator Clinton? Healthcare is her #1 issue, who now says, you know what, I'm not sure I can vote for Senator Obama. I actually may sit home and just sit on my hands, or I may vote for Senator McCain. What do you say to that person?
Well, to that person, I would say give Barack a chance to talk to the issues that you care most about. If it's health care, I'd love to see a debate between John McCain and Barack Obama on that issue alone. I actually hope there will be plenty of
The joint
opportunities
town
to
hall
do
meetings,
that.
perhaps?
Because I think it's so important for that voter, for a lot of undecided voters who may have legitimate questions, to have them addressed. But I'm absolutely confident that if they give the candidate a chance, they're going to be as compelled as I was to vote for him. You will see that they will resonate once the opportunity to present their case has been made.
All right, we have to leave it there. Senator Tom Daschle, the book is called Critical: What We Can Do About the Healthcare Crisis by, again, Senator Tom Daschle. Thank you very much for stopping by
My
and
pleasure.
expressing your views.